Gwyneth Paltrow says she's relieved her breakup with Brad Pitt back in the day was back in the day.
That's right, the Oscar winner, who looks like a sun-kissed beauty on the cover of the Wall Street Journal magazine, talked about her early fame and how the paparazzi wasn't as intense back then as it is now.
And of course, to remind you guys, Gwyneth dated Brad from 1994 to 1997. Here's some old throwback video of the two. That is when
they were twinning.
Engaged. Yeah. Oh, well, they were twinning.
They shared a similar haircut and sunglasses. Not there, but they were such a couple emblematic of the '90s.
And
but
this was her her first high-profile relationship.
And at the same time, again, she says that she thanks God that there was any pap. She told the mag, Cameron Diaz and I talked about this all the time. We're like, thank God in the early '90s there were so few paparazzi. Thank God. We cry in gratitude that no one was following us around and seeing what we were doing. She goes on to say, I remember when Brad Pitt and I broke up, it was on the cover of the New York Post and there was no one outside my house. That would never happen today.
Right. I feel like, which brings us to a question, like, why do we think, like, we're more focused on the breakups now? I mean, I feel like it's not just the breakups, it's the weddings, it's the surprise engagements, everything. I feel like, and then obviously as entertainment journalists, it like fuels our blood. We love it, but
Well, I think because as you mentioned, it was her first high-profile relationship, and it's also Brad Pitt. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we get infatuated with that kind of stuff, And
it's also like Jenna Dewan mentioned, they're like a fan favorite couple, so we kind of not live vicariously through them, but we like to admire their relationships, and so when they break up, a part of us gets a little brokenhearted too.
But see, I think that's why I respect and appreciate how she handled the split from Chris Martin, because that conscious uncoupling was so spot on. I mean, they totally pivoted away from what could have been a messy breakup. So Gwyneth seems to be doing just fine for herself. She, of course, just recently remarried to a Brad Paltrow.